Hello and welcome to this reading. My name is Dylan, and if you've not been here before, then welcome, and if you have been here before, then welcome back. This is a collective reading and it's also a timeless reading, and that means that whenever you find these messages, whenever they come to you through these cards, is the right time for you to hear them. So today we're going to be working with the Wildwood Tarot. We've also got the Tarot of the Hidden Realm, and we've got the Forest Fae Oracle as well. And I had a little bit of an inkling of what kind of message wanted to come through before this reading, so we're going to expand on that with the cards. And the message is, you're not playing around. So I feel like there's a kind of acceleration energy, almost like a seriousness, a strong willingness to get going on something. This could be a project, or it could be a relationship, or it could be maybe a business idea. It could be just your sense of purpose in the world. So it'd be interesting to see what the cards have to say on this theme. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we've got the Wanderer. This is the Fool card in the traditional tarot. This is the 0. So there we are. You know, you're not playing around anymore. You're getting started. You're getting moving with something. Interestingly as well, what I pick up on from not playing around is not necessarily that you have to be serious all of the time, because the Fool definitely isn't serious. The Fool is stepping out into the unknown, arms wide open, stepping onto this rainbow bridge here, really not knowing what's going to happen, but almost like dancing into their destiny. Let's say destiny's coming through as a word. And so it's not about just being serious all the time and being heavy. Sometimes we can kind of project that onto new things when we feel like we have to be good at them straight away, we have to succeed straight away. And the truth is that anything, you know, worth doing that has a really great outcome for us does require some kind of work and effort and energy to be put into it. However, that doesn't mean that we have to be all work and no play. So I do feel with this card, because I've said straight away, you know, you're not playing around anymore, this is a reminder to say, yes, that's true in terms of getting going on what it is that you really feel to do, you know, in your heart, what you want to do moving forwards. But this is a reminder to say, yes, you can get serious about that, but you can also play and bring magic into this situation or this phase of your life as well. So you can invite playful energy in as you explore this new activity or project or business or any of the things that I listed before. You can invite a sense of curiosity in as you're doing that, as you're moving forwards, because I think sometimes, you know, it can be really easy to get very fixated on the outcome and lose sight of the journey with just focusing on the destination and, like, you know, get your head down and finish this thing. But it's also really good, as you've probably heard many times before from other people, it's good to enjoy the journey. You know, life's a journey, not a destination, that kind of thing, which I believe is actually an Aerosmith lyric as well. So there might be a message in there if you like Aerosmith. I just feel it's really important to keep coming back to the why. Because if you get lost in the details, you get lost in the destination and the nitty-gritty, let's say, all of the little things that you can nitpick about and get really hyper focused on. It's really important to not lose sight of that magic in the meantime, because, you know, there are a lot of serious things in life. There are a lot of things that we have in our lives that require a level of responsibility, and I feel like this, whatever this is for you, is no different, and it does require a certain level of responsibility. Say, for example, if you're entering into a relationship, you do have a responsibility to show up for yourself as well as showing up authentically for the other person. You do have a responsibility when setting up a business to do that in a way of integrity, bringing integrity into that business and being honest and fair and open. And yeah, it feels like there is a kind of responsibility weightiness, but you just have to remember as well that in part, life is a game in some ways that you can play, and you can decide how you want to experience it. You can decide whether you want to experience it as heavy, as just weighty and a slog and day-to-day kind of grind and not really happy, you know, feeling happy in yourself. Or you can choose, as I said, to be curious and more playful and open. I just had the sense of you welcoming things in with open arms. So there could be, it could be helpful to actually sit in that posture or stand in that posture where you have your arms outstretched, like the Fool, the Wanderer in this card. Open your heart, like make sure your chest is open and lead with your heart. Have your chest forwards. I just get this sense that it's really important to keep the heart engaged through these new endeavours, these new adventures. So let's see what the next card is. Interesting. So we've got the Shaman, which is the Magician card in the traditional tarot, and this is actually the next card. So we've got the 0 and then the 1. So there are definitely new beginnings on the table, and I feel like this is the serious part. Okay, so you know, I said not playing around, and you can see how serious the Shaman is in this card, and he's there to do work, right? He's there to do some serious work, some manifestation, maybe some healing work even. And he's got all of his tools laid out there on the rock, and he's got his staff there for wisdom. So I feel like you've come a really long way, like you're really invested. That's the word that's coming through. You're really invested in whatever it is you're choosing to do. Now this has a very strong spiritual ilk, a very strong spiritual tone about it, because it's the Shaman, and this is about walking in both worlds. This is about really connecting in with your soul, being in your power, and moving forwards in a clear way. It's really important when manifesting, which is pretty much what the Magician card is about in the traditional tarot. It's really important when manifesting to have a clear intent. You need to know what it is that you want to manifest, what you want to create. And that's where that integrity comes in that I spoke about with the Fool card as well, with the Wanderer. So there's really a balance going on here between holding that vision of what you want to manifest. Also, it feels like you are around, you are here. You are here at this time to assist other people. So there is a sense of responsibility there as well. However, like your first and foremost responsibility is to yourself. That's what's just come through. So there's a real balancing out here between this happy-go-lucky kind of, oh, you know, let's go out and investigate and be curious and be very light and enjoy life, and like the heavier aspects of really grounding magic into reality. Maybe heavier wasn't the right word, but the more serious aspects of staying in integrity, carrying responsibility, and all of those things. Because the Fool can be a little bit wet behind the ears, as a saying that we have here in the UK, maybe elsewhere as well, but a little bit naive and maybe a little bit irresponsible at times. Could be definitely inexperienced. That's why they're called the Fool. It's not about being stupid in the way that we use the Fool word now. It's about being inexperienced. It's about being fresh and new and maybe a little bit naive. So it's like there are two parts of you at the moment that are coming together. You know, you moving forwards as this powerful, maybe even a leader, feeling emboldened, that's another word that's coming through, and tapping into your spiritual gifts in a new way. You're not playing around, like you know what you want to aim for, you know what you want to manifest. It's just about harnessing that energy and pulling it together. So there's all that side of it, and then you've also got this reminder, as I said, to keep it light as well. Spiritual work isn't all heavy and it isn't all light. It's a balance of the two. You can dance and play your way into manifestations. You can absolutely involve magical whimsy into the things that you create. You just need to know that you're doing it from a place of integrity. So let's pull another card. Oh, two came out there. So we'll get this one first. We've got the Stag, which is the Strength card. So there's 3 major arcana already in this reading. So there's a lot of strong energy coming through at the moment. And this Strength, again, I'm just getting the sense of empowerment, integrity, standing firm, like standing strong in what you know to be true and not being swayed by, I'm going to say things like media and society. It's you standing in your power. It's you standing in what you know. And if other people are coming to you and not quite getting where you're coming from, or maybe trying to talk you out of certain things, I don't feel like that's actually going to work. It's very different if someone comes to you and says, I'm a little bit concerned, what if this happens and whatever, and they're actually genuinely worried about you, and you can say, actually, I know this to be true for myself, so I'm going to stand in this, and thank you for caring, but this is what I'm going to do. There's a difference between that and people just coming in and nitpicking and just not understanding you and just trying to talk you out of it because of their own fears. And yeah, I just get this sense that you need to be very clear about what's yours and what's other people's. I'm getting this sense here with this kind of medicine shield that he's carrying. You've got this shield shielding your energy. It's very important to protect your energy at the moment in a strong way, because there's all kinds of crazy energy going on in the world, and although this is a timeless reading, that's likely to be true at any point that you're watching this video, because that's the way the world kind of is, and especially like more so these days, it feels a heightened sense of like crazy, all kinds of stuff happening. And I feel it's really important to protect your energy at this time, because as you step into this role, it can take a lot of focus. It can take a lot of energy to keep coming back to your power, keep coming back to the here and now, keep coming back to your truth. So you need to protect your energy. And this could look like standing alone many times, not necessarily mixing with that many people. You're just kind of stood in your truth, in your own energy, and standing strong. And that may not be the case forever. You might inject or invite more people into your life at some point. You've probably got a select few that you are happy to share your time and energy with. But I'm just noticing that in all 3 of these cards, they are single figures, just one person, one being, standing alone. So yeah, it's very important to stand in that strength and that truth at the moment. And I'm also feeling as well, because of the antlers here, you've got a very strong connection to spirit, to the ancestors. You've got a very strong connection to guides that are giving you information. You can see these as antennae kind of pointing up to the sky, where you can receive spiritual guidance. And that's definitely a way that the shaman works. So you've definitely got those kinds of gifts with you. And then we've got the Rest card. So there's a big transformation going on. I said you're not playing around at the beginning. It's true, this is a big shift. This is something that you decided that you were going to do before you came here, before you came into this lifetime. You're here to shift a lot. You're not playing around. You are shifting one thing after another. You've been on a long healing journey, and it's important to remember to rest. It can be a tiring process. If you think about a butterfly breaking free from a cocoon, can you imagine what that would be like in terms of effort? It's hard work. They have to break out. It's the same as well with a chick hatching from an egg, breaking out of the shell. It takes energy. So you need to remember as well to ground. This guy's very grounded. He's almost face down on the floor. He's completely prone. He's lying there, soaking up that energy of the earth. And then this butterfly is rising, and it feels like his soul ascending in a sense. So it's this balance again of being between the 2 worlds of the earth and the heavenly realm, let's say, where you are very in touch with the earth, you're very grounded, but at the same time you can let your spirit soar. And that is very much connected to the energy of the shaman, being able to be here and there, be of this world and be of another world. And it's that kind of energy that you're working with at the moment. So remember to rest, because it's a lot. And you're absolutely capable of doing all of this, or you wouldn't have chosen to do it. However, you need to remember that you're also a human being. In this lifetime, you need to rest your body. And the body kind of gets hit hard sometimes when these shifts take place energetically. And it takes time for the body to adjust to those, let's say, higher frequencies that you step into. So let's go with the Hidden Realm. Eight of Cups. You're definitely moving away from an old way of being. The Eight of Cups is very much about a new path, I would say, moving away from the old, shedding. I'm noticing the moon phases here on what I think is, I always see this as a kind of font, like a font that you would have in a church where they do christenings and things. So it's like a bowl with water in, is what I'm seeing. And during the moon phases, I've just got this sense that you're probably feeling them more strongly at the moment because of your sensitivity. So just keep an eye on the full moons and the new moons and how you feel at those times. I'm getting a sense here that the next full moon, whenever that is for you, whenever you're watching this video, could be very poignant when it comes to releasing something. And as I say that, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It's definitely something emotional, something you've been carrying for a while. And I feel like this will give you the chance to walk forwards in a different way. He's definitely poised to move on and shift his reality. Ooh, picture of an owl just fell over. Let's have a look at that. So we've got this owl here. So I feel like there's owl medicine, owl messages coming through as well, which actually ties in with this rest card and the moving on. The owl in this card is in flight, and owls also represent wisdom, so you're stepping into this new sense of wisdom within yourself. And they're also silent when they fly, so I do get a sense there is need for silent rest and reflection, even if you feel excited to get going, which is probably the case. Just remember that while you move through these emotional changes and these shifts and you heal and you kind of level up, remember that your body needs to rest. You need that quiet time. Not only that, but you need that quiet to be able to hear messages that are coming through for you as well. There can sometimes be a lot of emotion, particularly sadness, that can come up when moving on from, let's say, previous lifetimes. I was going to say a previous lifetime in this lifetime, but I feel like it's a mix of the two. You're leaving behind an old way of being, an old sense of self, but you're also leaving behind many lifetimes where you've carried those lifetimes' baggage into this lifetime. And baggage makes it sound a little bit offhand, but I guess you could use the word karma. You've been dragging around a lot of stuff from previous lifetimes, and now is the time when it's really being released and really being let go of. So as you can imagine, with all of this going on, it is tiring. I keep saying that, but it is. Just please rest when you can. So let's have a look at the Forest Fae Oracle. Fringe Dweller. See with eyes and heart wide open. So this is what I was saying before about having the heart open, about having your shoulders back, your chest forwards, leading with your heart in the same way that the Fool is doing in this card, that wanderer, moving on into a new life. Have your eyes open as well, look out for signs, even listening. I'm getting a sense of listening. I kept noticing the man's ear in this card for some reason. So I feel like there's a need, like I said, for that silence with the owl message, to listen out for messages that come through from, it feels like, ancestors. And I want to say as well that you're being watched over in a positive way. You're being encouraged, and someone in particular, an ancestor, is keeping an eye on you, and they're not going to let you stray too far from the path. We totally have totally have free will, but you're being steered. If you listen properly, you're being steered in a particular direction. And of course we have free will, like I said, we can decide to do whatever we want to do, but ancestors want the best for us. They are there for support. They want us to live our best lives in this incarnation, and they want us to have good experiences. So when they start to steer us, it's usually, it is a good time to listen and to follow that direction that they give us. But yeah, see with eyes and heart wide open. Be aware of what's around you. I just got a sense, I'm just looking off into the distance over a field here, and I often see deer in the field. I often see lots of birds swooping, and it's a very beautiful view. And I've just got this sense of you having an expanded view, just looking into the future and looking ahead of you. Keep your eyes and ears open. There are going to be a lot of animal and bird messengers. That's what I'm getting coming through. I think that's why the owl flipped over and wanted me to talk about that. Just pay attention to the animals that you see around you and the birds that you see, and rather than immediately looking up what does that mean on Google or any other search platform or in a book, sit and ask yourself, what does that bird mean to me? So for example, you go out somewhere and you see a peacock, right? And the peacock is fanning its tail and it looks absolutely beautiful. And you could check in and be like, what does that mean for me? Oh, I need to show my true colours to the world. Oh, I need to be seen. I need to celebrate myself. I need to have more confidence. Like, those messages could come through. You could see a squirrel and they're collecting nuts. It's the wrong time of year for that, but let's pretend it's autumn. And it's timeless. It could be autumn for you, actually. You see them collecting nuts and you think, well, okay, let's feel into what this means for me. Oh, I need to start saving a bit of money. I need to start putting some money away for this thing that I want. So it's just all about how you read these messages. They could actually mean different things to different people. So I'm just going to get one more card from the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. But yeah, you're definitely not playing around. You are moving on in a big way, and I feel like a decision has been made internally at some point, probably very recently. You've been like, right, this is it now. I want to go for what I want to go for. This is why I'm here. I don't want to mess around anymore. And you'll know that the more that you just mess around and distract yourself, that the less likely it is that you're going to have the things that you truly want in your life, because those things do take some energy and effort and focus to manifest. Yeah, there's definitely an emotional element to this. We've got the Five of Cups as well, so 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups, both about releasing, mourning, letting go. You're definitely shedding a self, I would say, shedding old emotions. Every now and again, because the healing journey is a spiral, every now and again we come back around to something that needs a little bit more releasing. Sometimes we think, I've already released that, I've already worked with that, I've already healed that. But there's always, going to be another layer of healing until we complete that particular thing, that particular phase or theme in our lives. So I feel like you're coming back to somewhere along a spiral, coming back to a certain way of healing at the moment. And it could feel like a bit of a wave of emotion that's coming up. I will say, don't hold it in. Sometimes we can feel very tense in our bodies and we wonder why we feel tense. It's because you're holding in these waves, and you can imagine the force of these white horses, the waves galloping and moving very quickly. Don't try and stop that force, because actually what you're doing then is using your own energy to stop yourself and becoming even more tired, and that could be, definitely be very exhausting. So allow that emotion to come out. It might look like dancing it out or singing it out or crying it out. Just allow it to move in any way that it needs to. So I feel that that's the end of the messages for this reading. Thank you so much for being here. I hope these messages have been helpful. You can find all of my links in the description box below, including a link to my website where you can book a private reading if you'd like to. And I also have Instagram, and I have a Patreon group as well, the Inner Circle. So I look forward to seeing you here next time. And yeah, take good care of yourselves. Remember to rest. And I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.